and we'll keep the league posted about 7:30 games from Week 1. Began with the situation. The Foot Snipers both made their debut on the Peninsula side, and they made that debut facing off against one another. Two travel teams know each other well, but the situation, scoring a big early season win, a 6-1 victory over the Foot Snipers.
What a statement to come right into the league, play what many consider to be a team that's right on their level, and for most of this game it appeared that was the case. My understanding is that it was a 1-1 game and that both defenses were very solid, but towards the end, it was third or fourth inning, the wheels just kind of fell off for the Foot Snipers. Situation got a couple guys on base, and then Blake Calici, he came up, kicked a big home run over the right fielder's head that cleared the bases and kind of broke it open, and from there it was just that was it. But you reffed that game.
I did.
So
I did.
tell us your impressions.
This was a very just good game. I mean, if you wanted to see some experienced kickball go down, this was a game to watch or ref, and I had the privilege of reffing the home plate section of this, and you're right. It was starting off to be a very defensive struggle. It was 1-1 situation. Foot Snipers, questionable interference call in the first inning. And that's how that game was being played. It was very close calls. These people were playing 100%. And, this wasn't like a gimme game on either side. But yeah, Calici hit open over the outfielder's head and got 2 runs in. And then a couple other miscues was a couple of pooch kicks that happened between second and third base that the infielder, misplaced and dropped, and allowed a lot of those people to get on base to get those runs in. And I feel like their Foot Snipers team is going to retool that to prevent those mistakes from happening in the future. But that could have prevented the damage a little bit from being done, but situation just came out lights out. Now, we talked about them, probably being number 1 in the power polls heading into this season. And they defended that prediction right here in this first game against the Foot Snipers. But, I mean, these guys are just top to bottom, just awesome kickballers. So, yeah, don't take them lightly. Like we said, they got their target on their back, but you got to pay to play, man. It's tough times.
Aim well.
Aim very
small,
well.
This small.
Hell of a pitcher, too. I don't know the pitcher on situation, but that guy was throwing... Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Well, he was throwing fucking fire.
Unless you're talking about Will Monroe.
Where he has like shaved dark hair.
Yeah, that's Blake.
Yeah.
These are things we work out in the pre-podcast meeting.
Sorry,
if you would actually show up on time, sober, maybe we wouldn't have these problems.
I had to stop at Chick-fil-A.
Stinking of weed and hookers. It's disgusting.
Don't talk about Katie like that.
I really wish you were a professional.
Yeah, oh,
Right.
Speaking of professionals, the Battlestar Ballsacks.
Professional, that motherfucker.
Are you going to punt that over a fence?
Yeah, that's my long
That's the only way you leave.
right there.
And another guy who likes to leave in high fashion, George Karazitis, his team, the Batwell, his team, a team he plays on, Battlestar.
This is his team.
Oh, he isn't?
He's a captain.
Oh, excuse me. And Freeballin, brought to you by Mary Catherine Evans, Jones, Wilson, Hogg, Smith.
The third.
They Esquire. So they have these two teams are rivals. They go back about 3 seasons or so. The core group of Freeballin, including Mary Catherine, they played with Battlestar Ballsacktica, but then they decided that team had gotten so large that they broke off, and ever since then they've had this friendly rivalry. In this game, George, who you mentioned, he was out of town because he just got a new job, so he wasn't able to attend. So they were without George's leadership. They had a rough first inning. From what I hear, Freeballin jumped out to an early 4-0 lead, and Battlestar really clawed their way back into this game. They didn't give up, but it just wasn't enough. And in the end, the Ballers ended up scoring the 5-4 victory.
And in the final game of the 7:30 hour, the Burning Bridges and Kick-Ass, speaking of another friendly rivalry of sorts that's been developing, finished this one off tense in the late going, a 2-2 tie.
As a friendly rivalry should end in week 1.
Oh, yes, naturally. I'm going to pop
week
open.
1 was really rivalry week. Like, there were a lot of rivalry, foot sniper situation, JFK 5 o'clockers, Freeballin, Battlestar, Burning Bridges, Kick-Ass. There's some good rivalries here.
Brent, you are the head referee, and I'm going to just sit back. I'm going to pop open another brewski and let you talk about what happened.
I think both offenses really struggled on Wednesday for both teams, and I don't know if it's necessarily if it was the defenses that were forcing them in there, or if it was just like it just seemed like it was bad touches on the ball. Mm-hmm. So, with the exception of this one young standout player for Kick-Ass, this prospect named Nathaniel Johnson, 2 for 2, 2 runs scored, including the tying run in the bottom of the 5th inning to really propel. So, when you're down 2-1, it's a time for heroes. This man stepped up to the plate. Really deserves all the accolades in the world. It's been a joke that he wants to be on an all-peninsula team. Up until this moment, I really think he's improved and he might have a shot this year. But maybe I'm just saying that because I'm being nice because he's right here.
We did not rehearse that in the pre-podcast meeting.
No,
so I'm just going to assume it's sincere.
No, actually,
who else was good in week 1 was Rex Grossman.
No, really good game though. I think it was it was a 1-1 game through most of the first 4 innings, and then Burning Bridges came up and they put together. Kick-Ass came up. You guys put together some hit. Actually, it was a 2-out rally. You came up with 2 outs and no people on. You got on base with was it a bunt? Was it a bunt or you kicked a line blooper? Yeah, blooper.
Blooper.
And then they stringed a couple other. They stringed a few other hits together, and then Drew Marshall came up and kicked. He kicked a line drive in the center field that fell, which allowed you to score. So you guys were up 2-1. Kick-Ass up 2-1, I should say. And then, but Burning Bridges, you give them credit, man. They didn't give up. They had the top of their lineup come up. They ended up doing the same thing, getting some people on, and Jed Toll came across for the tying run. And that was the way the game ended, but it was good.
And I've got a couple of big play behind the plate. Alex Nocter in this game.
Yes.
Who I always knew was a quality player. Did not, maybe hadn't really seen him play catch all that much, but was on fire back there. Just please, everyone, get your bunts away from that kid. He can rock a great bowl cut, which I respect. Anyone in their late 20s, you can respect, because we've all been there in good or bad bowl cuts. But he was just dominating back there. They shut down the top of our lineup a couple of times, mainly with big plays from Mr. Nocter. And then I would also add Phil Balthus knocked in that first run on RKI to right. So big kick from Phil.
But you brought up Nocter, and I said I was kind of interested to see how Burning Bridges was going to do, because their catcher for the last 2 seasons, Roy, he didn't come back this season. So I was wondering how are they going to fill that void? Because
is that no cleats?
Yeah. He used to wear no shoes before we found out it was against the rules and they would wear cleats. But he ended up, Nocter filled in that gap, and I think he was actually better than Roy had been.
No concern there.
No, like seriously, watching him, I was like, he played at an all-peninsula level. Like it was.
It's the bowl cut. Keep the bowl cut, man. It's good luck. It's like not washing your socks.
So I'm on the Nocter bandwagon. So I'm going to be promoting him.
I was on it first, for the record. That's why I'm wearing this, well, technically America white, but it's also homage to Burning Bridges this week, and Mr. Nocter, I'm wearing your colors. Sign of respect.
That's an authentic Nocter.
This is a 2012 Nocter.
You should get him to sign it, actually. It's just like Nocter. Anyways.
Anyway, that's it for the 7:30 games. We only have 2 games at the 8:30 hour, but we'll get right back at you and recap those. So stick around.
Thanks. It looks like a bowl cut looks like a penis. Like when you have it, like it's like that.
Like an circumcised kid.
Yeah,
No,
circumcised. Yeah,
circumcised
circumcised kids. Yeah.
Yeah, it's,
Whoa.